I mean, there
Yes.
wasn't that social media. I mean, it wasn't
Like
so
what
much
we
of
have
social
now.
like what we have today, you know.
Yes.
That we're talking about 2006 to 2000, between 2006 to 2009.
Yeah.
We have BlackBerry then. So
Okay.
the mistake I would say I made was procrastinating and not
Mm.
starting early enough. A lot of us will tend to procrastinate. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and then a year goes, 2 years go, 3 years go, and then you're like, oh my God, I've not really achieved anything. And you need to realize that the reason why you're in this country is to make a difference for
Yeah.
yourself, family.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Welcome to Architecture Pearl, where we share real stories and practical strategies to help internationally trained architects and technologists build a successful career in the UK or Canada. My name is Elizabeth Olubaju, and joining me today is Anthony Oziabor, who is also a chartered architectural technologist, and he has his own company, PDDML, in the UK, where he does his architectural services. You're welcome, Anthony.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So can you tell us more about yourself before we forget about your company? So tell us, I know you have your company. Can you tell us the name of your company before we go ahead?
Yeah, my company is Prime Projects Design and Management Limited, PPDML, based in
Okay.
Erith, Kent. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So we'll start our first question off because the purpose of this is to help people to see that we have gone through the system and we want to help those who are just coming in. So can you tell us where you originally trained and what brought you to the UK?
Yeah, I originally trained as an architect in Nigeria at Ambosali University, Edo State, Nigeria, where I obtained a BSc Architecture, MSc Architecture. My practice architecture in Nigeria for about 5 years, from
Mm,
2000 to 2005, before relocating to the UK in
okay.
January 2006 to
Mm,
study a second master's degree course in
wow.
construction project management at the School of Architecture and Construction, University of Greenwich, Avery Hill campus in London.
Wow. That's so impressive. So when you came to the UK then, were there surprises or what were your expectations versus the reality? What were you expecting? You know, before we come, they would tell a lot of stories you would must have heard. Like myself, I heard a lot of stories. But when you first arrived, what are the surprises that kind of shocked you, or what did you expect, or what did you see from the UK architecture industry?
Man, first and foremost, it was a huge shock from the different lifestyles. I recall leaving the university at about 3 p.m. on my first day of lectures, and it was already dark and quite cold. I'd never experienced it before and felt a bit depressed and discouraged. The comparison while attending my course at the university, um, I mean, in comparison to my previous university in Nigeria, was also very different.
Mm,
However, attending the University of Greenwich School of Architecture and Construction helped me to begin to understand how UK
mhm,
architecture was quite different from what I
mm,
studied back home in Nigeria.
mm.
I observed how architecture students did their presentations, defended their projects, uh, which was quite different from how we did it
We used
back
to
in
do it, yeah.
Nigeria. The way they made their models, their presentation styles, their model making skills was very different. I made
Yeah.
very good friends at the university who
Okay.
encouraged me to pursue my goals, to work on my CV and begin to look for roles in architecture that would help me begin to build my work experience rather than, take menial jobs. I'll feel discouraged.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's true. It's good that you made friends because you don't know what rooms your friends will be in
Yeah,
because your
yeah, yeah.
network is your net worth.
So
So
exactly, yeah,
you
yeah.
never
It's
know
true.
who can be helpful later in
Mhm.
life. So if you
Yeah,
are listening out there, take this in that you need to always network. So we're
yeah.
going to move to the third question, and that's about the struggle. What were the most challenging part of, trying to enter the profession in the UK?
Wow, that was well. The first thing was registering with agencies and getting to know how to put together a good UK architecture CV and
Mm-hmm.
portfolio. Unfortunately, I only had architectural designs from Nigeria, which was very different from what we had here. So I
Mm-hmm.
began researching on UK portfolio preparations at uni.
Yeah.
I was reading journals on UK design and construction, and also reproducing layouts from brochures, which I obtained
Mm.
from nearby developers.
Oh.
So we had a developer close to my where I used to live then.
Mm.
They had a show home, which was within my neighborhood there. So
Mm.
this helped me to understand UK designs. Um, Obviously, I realized from carrying out those studies and researches that the UK design did not require cross ventilation like what we were taught, in
Back
tropical
home.
Africa. Yeah. The agencies I registered with, they began to put me forward for interviews, which was also
Okay.
helpful. But following several unsuccessful interviews where I was told I had no UK experience,
Mm.
people hear that a lot, but they shouldn't feel
Yeah.
discouraged. I was
Mm.
able to see I was able to see projects which the companies were working on because every time I went for those interviews, they would normally bring out the project they wanted me to work on and just
Mm.
talk through it. So looking at those things, they're giving me ideas on how to improve upon my portfolio,
Yeah.
which I started doing. I
Mm.
recall the day I got the call that I was accepted to start a role as a CAD technician with
Oh,
ABA Architects in Southwark, London,
wonderful.
which heralded a new beginning in my life and career. I was also without accommodation that period, so I really needed that job.
Oh
So
my
I put
God.
my best in, made sure. I mean, yeah, it was my first portfolio, so I just made sure that yeah, it was um, and I mean, I was lucky. The interview went well, and I got the job.
Hmm. That's very interesting. Because a lot of times we come unprepared, and then if you have to wait for like 6 months, one
Yeah,
year before you get a job is really, really not funny.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
Okay,
can be
so I'm going to
frustrating.
ask you now, what was your turning point, that helped you to start finding your place in the industry? If you understand what I mean, that is, was there a turning point? Yes, you got your first job, but even when you were doing that job, was there a turning point? Something that introduces hope to you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, my turning point came gradually. I mean, obviously, with the first role I got with ABA Architects in Southwark, London, which gave me the opportunity I had been waiting and praying for to learn and get paid in an architecture practice, working with AutoCAD and SketchUp. That was how I had my breakthrough in the profession of architecture in the UK. I worked with
Mhm.
the firm which specialized in high-end residential development
Okay.
projects within Westminster Council as well as Kensington and Chelsea Borough. I was with them for 2 years. I mean, the experience
Wow.
I gained, yeah, the experience I gained there gave me opportunities to work with amazing architects like Mike Fisher of Studio Indigo,
Okay.
who was very, very thorough, where I
Mm.
qualified as a chartered architectural technologist
Okay.
and going on to work with multinational corporations. I mean, like Bouygues on the
Wow.
Battersea Power Station projects with Frank Gehry Architects, Foster and Partner Architects,
That's good.
Adams Architecture, as well as working. I also went on to work with Berkeley Homes,
Okay.
Eastern
Very good.
counties, developing new
Mm.
builds before I mean, took the courage of setting up my practice prime projects in Erit. We
Wow.
specialize in residential refurbishments, new builds, places of worship, listed buildings, as well as public
Mm.
buildings. Yeah. Our
That's good.
website is,
Okay.
yeah, we've got a website anyway. I can always make that available.
Okay, you give me your website and then we can show people
Okay,
where you
okay,
are and your information, and that would be
okay.
great. So,
All right.
you did speak about your turning point, which is, to be able to have your own practice. Was there anything instrumental to that? Was there a maybe like a body in UK that helped, or I don't know? Just tell us briefly what made it change before we
Yeah, I
talk about
mean,
practical steps.
CIT was a pivotal point in me being able to set up a practice. Just as I said, while working with uh, Studio Indigo, obviously I met Elizabeth prior to getting the job at Studio Indigo.
Which Elizabeth?
You yourself. I was going to talk more about that later. Anyway, yeah, getting to meet Elizabeth prior to getting that role at Studio Indigo,
Yeah.
where you told me a lot about the CIAT, which I wasn't
Yeah.
really familiar about. And I took decisive steps to get registered. I became an associate. So I got the role at Studio Indigo as an associate
Hmm.
of the CIAT, and they were really enthusiastic with having me there I'm an associate of a professional body.
Okay.
So that was what really helped me,
Hmm.
to get into an organization like that,
Okay.
where they gave you the opportunity to build your skills. They give you the opportunity to learn, to work on your own projects and
Yeah.
develop yourself. Yeah.
That's a good one because I want people to really listen to anything that is really, really, that you could shout out. What helped you there was you were already an associate, so they knew that you were already doing something about your career.
Yeah.
So it was easy to trust you. So if you're out there, you're thinking what to do, this is a golden step. Anyway, let me just cut the chase. Let's talk about practical steps. I know you've talked about joining the CIET, but what specific steps helped you to secure your first opportunity in the UK? I know CIET is one of it and is a big part of it, but is there any other thing you want to share?
If I look at portfolio, as I said earlier,
Okay.
things are not as they are presently.
Yeah.
Currently, we've got LinkedIn, which we
Yeah.
didn't have back then. So I had to build my
Yeah.
portfolio from
Right.
scratch,
Wow.
from the projects I worked on in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
from visiting show homes, getting brochures, attending interviews, which
Mm-hmm.
gave me ideas on how to improve on my portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, also networking, with regards to networking.
Yeah.
There wasn't that social media. It wasn't so
Like what
much
we
of
have
social
now.
like what we have today,
Yes.
That we're talking about in 2006 to 2000, between 2006 to 2009.
Yeah.
We had BlackBerry then. So the only way of networking for me was within the walls of my university, which I don't,
Mm,
yeah, and we had opening days where companies and other recruiters came in to talk to us about job opportunities,
yeah.
about CV preparation. So that was a good way of
Mm,
networking. And they
yeah.
invited us, they put us forward for interviews.
Mm,
With regards to internship,
mm,
well, I never had the opportunity
okay.
to
To
do
do
any
an
internship.
internship.
Yeah,
Okay.
because our course it was a crash
Mm,
course, 18 months, which was back-to-back lectures.
mm.
So I was only able to get a good job, my first job, after I completed my course.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
yeah.
I got you.
So as I
So
said,
if, yeah, go on.
okay, no, as I said earlier,
Mm,
I was privileged to join the CIAT as an associate
okay.
in 2009, which, as I said, following advice from you. Um, but is what I just wanted to say is it's not just taking the advice or listening to people advise you. It's saying
Yes.
it through to the very end, taking the
Yeah.
advice and working on it and making sure that you actually see it to the very end. And that was what I did, which I mean changed my life for good.
That's a good one. You know, there's something I don't know if I should say this, but there's something I like about the Asian community. And what they do is they work together and everybody wins. So if I'm looking back and thinking, if I didn't tell you about CIAT and I'm just doing on my own, right
Yeah.
now you've also encouraged me so much. So it's like you helping somebody, the person is helping you back. That's how it's supposed to be. But sometimes some of us have information that can help somebody else and they are not sharing. When it's their own time and they are down, they will not get somebody to help them. So I'm only saying this, that our people need to get to a point of sharing information that can help somebody else. Because if they don't, it's not making the community grow. So a big shout out to all Asian community, because I know they do that a lot. So yeah, it's a good thing to always, you know. So now for you, is the advice section now. If you, a newly arrived architect or technology, asks for your advice, what are the 3 things that kind of stood out to you, or what will you tell them to focus on?
I mean, like I would say to my mentees, be confident, be positive, and don't settle for less. Those are the 3, I mean, things I would say to them, and it's helped a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good one. And are you going to say any mistakes you've made, or we should just, any final encouragement? Let me use that word. Any final encouragement, you know, that you will say to internationally trained professionals who are feeling discouraged right now? Because a lot of people have come and they are so discouraged that they didn't expect it to be this way. Let me say a story. When I was coming to the UK, my friends told me, oh, leave your clothes. You don't need it. When you get to UK, the dresses, everything is so cheap. It's one pound. I left my box of clothes.
Wow.
And when I got to UK, I did not see one pound clothes. And when I got a job, I was like, okay, what will I wear to work?
What would you wear to work? Wow.
I'm telling you, people in church, a sister in church had to give me her clothes. I don't do that, but I had to, because of the things I've heard. I left my clothes. I had clothes. I was living big, but I was like, when I get to UK, one pound, I will buy dresses. I will buy whatever I want. One pound, but there was no one pound clothes. So what I encourage, because at that point, it got to a point I would just be crying.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
So, I'm telling you, and because we don't hear the right things from home. So they tell us a lot of things, and when you get to UK, so for somebody in that situation, or somebody that is struggling and just got to UK, what will you say to an internationally trained professional who is feeling discouraged?
Okay, before you ask that question, you said something about mistakes. Now, what I would say is the mistake I would say I made was procrastinating and not starting early enough. A lot of us will tend to procrastinate. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And then a year goes, 2 years go, 3 years go. And then you're like, oh my God, I've not really achieved anything. And you need to realize that the reason why you're in this country is to make a difference for yourself, for your family. So procrastinating is one big mistake that I made, and I'll discourage those just coming into the country.
So when you say procrastinate, are you saying procrastinate in coming to the UK, or procrastinate now that you've arrived, the step you needed to take to make some decisions?
Yes, the steps I needed to take to make certain decisions to move my career forward. It took me quite a while to go from associate member to to chartered member status, which I could have done it earlier, but I kept procrastinating. Oh, I'll do it, and then obviously looking at your encouragement was also part of what said, why am I delaying? Remember we went through my report back then, and you were like, just submit it, it's okay, And I
Yeah.
did it. I went in there and it was successful. So procrastinating is a problem. It's not
Yeah.
good for anyone that is just coming into the country.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
to answer that question. And then
yeah.
if I go back to encouragement, I would say don't give up and don't be discouraged. To those who are internationally trained professionals who found themselves in this part of the world, in
Yeah.
the UK, Canada, wherever they may be.
Yeah.
I'll say again, don't give up, don't be
Mm.
discouraged, reach out. There's so much help out there. And with
Yeah.
the social media, you can actually reach out to people you've never met before,
Mm.
introduce yourself. And those who are willing to help you out, like myself, like my colleague Elizabeth, will always get in touch with you,
Yeah.
and support you in whatever way we can,
Yes.
So, that's what I would say to them.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to ask this question. I don't know how you want to answer it, but what does success look like to you now?
Success makes me happy, isn't it? Well, success is being able to work, to network,
Yeah.
to travel around the world and work, to manage a thriving CIT charter practice, that's prime projects, to face challenging projects, to mentor the future generations of architectural professionals. I think to me, that's success. And
That
that's
is
what
a
makes me
good
happy.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think especially for women, we want to be flexible to look after our children, make room, still be a good wife and look after your children and your career. I think flexibility, when you have your own company, you can, just like I said, you can travel, you can go anywhere.
You can do anything.
So it's like people that say, oh, they can walk on the beach. It's still the same. We feel the same. When you are a chartered professional, you can work from anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I can say. So
That's the
that's a good
benefit of
one.
it. Yeah, because as a chartered professional, you're not chasing after jobs.
No.
Because you've earned that trust from people that they come looking for you, not you running to look for work or looking for help and all that. Yeah. So it's actually, that's when I say, oh, it's a turnaround, it's a change that you just, unless you experience it, then you really know the what, or you know what it means, so
okay,
so that's
a
success
good
to me.
All right, thank you so much. So is there any final word from you, any signature closing?
Yeah, what I would say is, practicing my profession is one of the best decisions I made. Becoming chartered with the CIT was one of the best decisions I made. When also relocating to the UK gave me the opportunity to be creative, to meet people, very importantly, to give back to my community. So I think that's all I'll say for now.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing your journey, for your time and everything. So stories like this, remind us that internationally trained professionals bring value and experience, and perspective to the UK. So if you're navigating this journey, don't do it by yourself. We are here to help. Architecture Pearl is here to support you. We're going to be sharing inspiring stories like this that we've just heard. And I know that there is a lot in stock. So huge thanks to my guest, Tony Oziabor, for sharing your journey. Thank you so much. And your commitment, to creating a more inclusive profession for us in architecture. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, if you are navigating this journey yourself, we are here to support you. I'm a mentor through the CIAT. Same thing with my guest. So please reach out to Rosida on LinkedIn. Put your comment below. If you want, mentorship, if you want somebody to help you, you are not just here by yourself. Things that we did not have when we just came in, we are trying to recreate it so that there is going to be a better place for all of us. And we are saying to all like recruitment agencies, architecture firms, we need your help to give us work experience. That's the most important part.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. We can only take on that much people, but we have more people who are mentoring.
If you take two people, I take two people, somebody take one person,
Yeah.
All we need as internationally trained architects and technologists is for us to be able to have work experience. But how do we have it if people don't give us a chance? So with this, we close for today. And thank you again, Anthony, and see you
All
in the
right.
next
Thank
video.
you. Thanks for your time.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, with this, we've come to the end of Architecture Pearl for today. And huge thanks to my guest, Tony Oziabor, for sharing his journey, his insights, and commitment to creating a more inclusive profession through Architecture Pearl. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And if you're navigating this journey yourself, Architecture Pearl is here for you to support you. And please subscribe and also tell us what you want to hear more about in the comment section. Very soon, we're going to be opening doors to the first cohort for Architecture Pearl, where we want to train you, help you with your CV, with things you need to be ready for getting a job in UK or Canada. So the doors will be open soon. Make sure that you drop your comments, you let us know what you're struggling with right now, and then we'll see how we can help. And we'll also send you more information on the first cohort. If you are looking for someone to help you in your career, we are here to do so. So please leave your questions and send us a message so that we'll know how we can help you in your career. God bless you.